Chuchucha in Sumo, and on my press conference in Munchimo or the Beba.
Yes, the Paya dia was Saye, anointing first vice president, Emma Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council GPCC, Reverend Dr. Gordon KaseÄ, Wajina GPCC, Anemo Abo National Election Security Task Force, no, Abaso Pass or Mabo Juma, Ama Bibia Boko. Na, and
2024, Kakume, be Ocean date, I was saying, I can afford you know, Pepe 20 days. Yami Adoma, China or to me and Sapepe. New Year da Ghana yesika semno yesi enyi 7.2% aye abakosem.
Yeah, the special report ebe bramo efabato ya ho edi enti ena manfo susu se New Patriotic Party omudi ntwa emu odu sein na omoni oyoko ba di nkomo a yebebo bia mamati
ora anodom pre ya oye nsawoma do agi MP ono akronso ena ejina mu se majority chief whip was transition na mampani akufo ado ne mampani dada jo mama ye no omo tietia break esan se abato ne ho nsam ni bi o wa ye nkanwie ono na do agi ho se ye declare nti mpanimfo nyai kosisi ebema bibia to din ansa na omo ato aso
ensam foforo bia ka we mo ho ne ade be so modonhwere ba ko ewo ye fidi KaseÄ eso na abo atati abetwa eso ya se efri ma ba abo shaba electric asaso ya sene eba na electric aso ho ne mankane ahodo ni nyina o de baba shaba so ya ubenya de upe bia chandelier corner light gate light ceiling light LED light a free 3 watt say kosi 24 watt afa eba na steady lamp LED floodlight as I say amanfo be Christmas convention no we light dey toko akire pa e pane akra da forma ube hu momra na mometobi na CCTV cables and cameras no do the bebo outdoor indoor na dey twa no hu 360 degrees ubenya bi e wa hanom digital video recorder and afa solar standing fans so no bo shaba akofa bi aba ubetumi aba betuo opa ba ko nso a utimi eto edumoye pa TV abro san mu ye be central prisons round about no na mama ata akofo building mu e wa edum PZT ebi e wo honom KJT Dubai hwe ani mu ho a abrosan foforo masi wo ho no ubenya bi e wo ho ato ubetumi afre 0536 095966 0536 095966
3P garlic mixture so eyedura eprapre ni peduanim de bia semeka ni peduane ni praye na emu aduane a wobedie ni edura wobenom no eno ne prapre mu yi fi ni sade a adeda de dantini mu ene wonsunu mu nyina no eyi pie ma hoden eba wokwa fikyire na hawo stroke tetew ntehyewa asthma ena fi wafuru na yekese aboroso a abloti esa wo yoba me makra de omafusu anhye da nyehwe isan se ode afukese ne botan no ba nso e wo hyekaba ne bomu hunu obi kasa ankra na wo ham se obi amanitua no kope 3P ni binom na ebeboa asiesio ama ne omanyina etumi akobi kope bito ewo herbal shop bia emu Colinac o Danny Farmer o Misty Herbal Kriske Herbal Angel Herbal chese herbal ni nyina adoso opedodo etu anu afre 0248928824 na odempanyefo edi ho enkomo yan ye de kase ebeso mo nwumre midin de akwese do amene
mambe efia nyako papa bi kase boni nchemu ni
Ghana mampani a oba eye John Mahama ene de wako Jubilee House mampani atena yemu ma woni mampani adodan kwakufu ado akudi nkita ho ni nyina na yesaka kuma bi na yebeya mane nyina na no memenda na yeto aba ya sunsunso aso ne baaye no na kyerese sankofa Ghana fo akofa abandada ye NDC amanyoku a John Mahama da no ene de won aba na sade nhyehyɛ yete no akabosome ne yeto aba no abosome yachi ne de mampani foforo a wobesi so ye transition process bi a ye fam aban a wokɔ boabo ankrata nyina no toto ano e de maban foforo a obemu mpanyimfo nene dai mampani dada John Mahama ekɔ mampani akufo adonai so no enkomo efiri ho ba ye bi ni
march forward as a functioning, effective democratic state which respects the will of the people, which respects human rights and the rule of law, and where we are all secure in our daily lives. We've spoken a little bit about the issues that have occurred, the seeming lawlessness that is taking place over the thing, and I express my happiness at his intervention yesterday in speaking to the country about what was going on, and the reinforcing of the authority of the state to make sure that these matters are dealt with. So this is the reason why he's here, and I thought we should give you a brief outcome of the visit. It has been a very warm and constructive feeling. The President and I have known each other for nearly 20 years. We met in Parliament in 1997 and have remained good friends ever since. So that's what has happened. Mr. President,
thank you.
Elect.
Mampani Adodanko Kufuado Asia Mampani Dada John Mahama no achi ena Mampani Dada John Mahama nso ekire se ogide ni arehyimu says transition process no ebeye totin na nkitahudie ni de ebekoso saa enso ho enenko a.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. As I said when I spoke after the declaration of results, I mentioned that His Excellency the President had given me a call to congratulate me. And so I had the opportunity to thank him this morning for being that gracious to give me that call. We had a very cordial meeting. At the time he called, he suggested 11 a.m. this morning to have the preliminary meeting towards setting up the transitional team. And that meeting has just ended, was very cordial. And I think we were very happy to be together. Mr. President has given me a brief on the security situation, both internal and external, and also a short brief on issues to do with the economy. Of course, the transitional teams will drill down further into these matters, but I am happy at the assurance he's giving us that we're going to work together in the interest of Ghana to ensure a seamless transition. And I believe that even after that transition, it will be necessary for us to continue to keep a channel of communication so that Ghana's democratic credentials are consolidated and we all work together in the national interest. And so I want to thank him for his time and to assure him that on our side we are very happy to work together, and we'll look forward to the successful work of the joint transitional team. Thank you all.
We enkomo ekoso enedei ewo abankasiem Jubilee House ebra Mampani Dada John Mahama ene dom ekosra Mampani Akufuado na omakodidi nkomo a ene transition no efiase anesa Mampani Akufuado ayi enipa dubaako 11 Madam Frema Opare ene da wo mo ano efri aban we FM MPP fa no ene NDC fan so Ra Julius Debra no chief of staff brebi etwemu no ono so ye co-chairperson ti nipa no aka nyina ye hu mo mfoni nim no omo ka ho attorney general aka ho defense minister ka ho local government minister ka ho local aban nyuma ahodo ye resi edu nkati ane cheze nipa ne do so pi fifi kwetemu nyina ka ho omo na ekoye transition ho adwuma.
Yet was so our transition no Yemuna said the Presidential Transition Act 2012 Ekanaya Act 845 no Ekanona was Nyarko and Pennyfo no dear what tia konyaso any the office one nyina no be a yim pennyfo a omunyina betina say soya adwene no majai to me no amade or bano and to say the pennyfo edi kan edi atudwa no ma chechem no Ra Julius Debra na ono age na say chairman ama ya NDC ana John Dramani Mahama amemu a eba no ena Maame Frema Opare enso ejina ama na Adodanko Akufado na MPP amamuo no ya mpanifo ahodo eka wo mo ho a omo na ebedi sa adwuma no na o mampani a se woti apatamu John Dramani Mahama ebro na Adodanko Akufado omo yi wo transition team no akyerese democracy na kamanka bia amamuo ho hyehye pa koso wo mayi mu a oman Ghana adi nkunim wo asomdwie ani nkunimdi ahodo mu na nado akasa wo inauguration na so omo pa ya abedwakuo ntoma no ya wono akyere mu se kaminka be amamuo ho hyehye pade ya de part so bia age na so de adi nedwuma eboa moman etumpon.
This meeting is a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to the democratic principles that underpin our republic. This commitment is especially critical in the current context of West Africa, where the region faces threats from unconstitutional changes in government and the spread of terrorism and violent extremism. Ghana stands out as a beacon of democracy and stability, showcasing the strength of our institutions and the maturity of our people. It is imperative that we continue to consolidate this hard-earned reputation. By adhering strictly to the provisions of the Transition Act, we send a powerful message to the world that democracy thrives in Ghana, even in challenging times. As we embark on this transition, I urge all members of the team, both from the outgoing administration and the incoming one, to approach this task with a spirit of collaboration, transparency, and mutual respect. The people of Ghana are counting on us to prioritize their interests above all else. Let us not lose sight of our shared goal, safeguarding the freedom, peace, progress, and stability of our beloved nation. This transition is not an end, but a continuation of Ghana's democratic journey, which serves as a model for our region and beyond. I call on all Ghanaians to support this process with patience, understanding, and faith in the institutions that underpin our republic.
Na do danko akufo do Ghana mampani na yete ne nka no na John Dramani Mahama sremu se ejata mampani oti apachamu enso akasa wo chese wogidi se eye transition team no ebeye adwuma ne kwan so ya emfa katwitwiri bia kase bia emma.
I wish to ask that we all be guided by the spirit behind the Presidential Transition Act to ensure a smooth and seamless transition. We may belong to different political parties, but we all belong to Ghana. And let the spirit of our nationalism and patriotism prevail. We call on the transition team to work expeditiously and within a modest budget, given the prevailing economic circumstances. Even though Mr. President seems to strike a very upbeat tone on recent numbers, I'm sure the transition team would establish that. As a president, you can count on my respect and cooperation during and even after this transition. We must demonstrate to the world that despite the adversity we face, Ghana remains the beacon of democracy in Africa. Now more than ever, destiny requires us as countrymen and women to close our ranks and stand in solidarity with each other. And so we must put our country first, and the work will be onerous, but we expect that you're capable and you're going to put your shoulders to the wheel. Myself and Mr. President will be available in case you need to consult us on anything. Let the spirit of cooperation that has marked the post-election period continue to guide us even as we go through this phase.
Mampani ya wati apatamu John Dramani Mahama ene ne yete ye ne nyina akosisa wo se transition team no omonhwe omanu nsuo na omode adware esanso omanu si kasam no se ne nkoye sa nti mo nya bibia ma budget no enkobro so
yeda so gina transition ene hu nkomodie mu ene mampani dada John Mahama MPP fo akasa de akere ne papapa omo asem nyina ne se de ekoso abato na chi wo Ghana ha na nyefe egu oman Ghana nimu aseye sebe ntete kwa asem abrofo hu ye omo besere yen enti ene woma friends amtwofo nhie mu ya majority leader omra hye Alex Afenyo Ken ene kasa adwumede na se da bia yesi ekofuma fa abannwumam yekofuma fa ne nam ha ne yekofuma fa Ghana ye de democracy na ye adwuma o democracy na so na dia ye adwuma ya to aba ama ene waban aba waban ne kura wo medi akonwa akabo so me na basa ya ekwe nipa yin so a eye saye nyina obi ani wa hu ya de kura wo certificate adwuma na omo akogumu ye kogapo ha ye ko forest sunwan forest nyina makoto ahye so wuka so wonko fa ne certificate mira no magi adwuma ahwe ye beye ntokwasem nti mampani dada enka bibi mfa nkyere wo mo na de ekono enye fe
in Ablekuma, for instance, the parliamentary candidate there is under siege. Yesterday she had a sleepless night. All manner of persons were at her residence in search of pink sheets. The question is, why is the NDC so interested in destroying evidence? This woman, Madame Ekuya Afriye, had to run for her life. It took the timely intervention of the police to protect her and to drive these NDC hooligans away. Honorable Patrick Boama is unable to sleep in his house because they are threatening him, thinking that he has a pink sheet at his residence. His constituency chairman is being looked for. His constituency secretary cannot sleep at home, all because they believe that these individuals have pink sheets. Why should a member of parliament fear for his life, all because he's participating in democracy? I would want to call on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to speak to his party people. This is not the democracy we've all worked hard for. The hypocrisy is becoming too clear day in, day out. All of us are being threatened. In my own constituency, for instance, they have now come out with a lie to the effect that a certain NDC constituency vice chairman cannot be found. It's a lie. They are using that to incite their party foot soldiers to attack MPP members, including my very self.
Na yura afenyoma ken eto aso de adesre eto civil society organization ACS so nyina anim se obi aso fa na no ntumu bi no onka bi nche mampani dada adwoma ama ne NDC achitafo ne se basabasa ye na ekoso no nye se bi ku na asi o my Ghana koto abaye na ballot box so e na de ayi panyi na MPP fo a omo nka bi nhye mu a omo sori anoma beto ahye omo so omo fie nyina mo to abo kɔ hɔ ko pipeline hwehwɛ ne saa neoma no CS so ne so nka bi emfa nkyere no.
When NDC was in opposition, of course, before the election, they were the ones who were all over fighting for the right of Ghanaians. Even when a due process in court was being served on them, they cried foul. Today, the NDC leadership pretends that what their party foot soldiers are doing are being done on their blind side. But they are indeed encouraging it. We are calling on civil society to call on the NDC leadership, especially His Excellency President-elect John Dramani Mahama, to demonstrate his love for this country by stopping this action immediately. These individuals are moved in groups. Such attacks are planned and led by some MPs who have been promised juicy positions in government. And they are all over attacking parliamentary candidates. They are looking for pink sheets because they know that that is the evidence that we will use against them. If you go to Tema Central, for instance, the person who purportedly declared the Tema Central seat for the NDC candidate is not the returning officer for Tema Central. They called somebody to declare the results. If you consider this action in the light of all that is happening, one is compelled to ask that if NDC had lost the election, what would happen? Is it the case that the leadership of the party had prepared, rehearsed, and plotted this, that in the event that they lose, this country should be made lawless, and because of that, even in spite of them winning, they are still proceeding to do this?
We a press and a press conference and a day call so MPP majority leaders say or the Juma air to and majority na could different baby. Ora Alexander Kwamina Apenyoma Ken or no party chairman Yera Stephen in the party national executive Sinibi and a Kushia Moon at their 2 NDC4 and him said Omuya no munyai. We are seeing our boy Abaso say I de afe a phone and one come away for him. Ghana nye cool. Yenye ku ntu aban ye de yeko promote na ato aba ah ye peaceful
de odi nkugo kra ba jitu mu ntam kra nka se etwa bibia so etwa bibia so ase na bi mu plan se so mu ye bibi nti asundwe ba kra wo se mu ye na enkekawa
se mo ya chichi mu enti ukodem na adi bronya wo prison enti
se bi so afọ mo ho adi ya nche wo mu yanto aso na general secretary ya na twetwe for penny MNU Patriotic Party MPP Justin Frimpong Kodua wode na no atum bi no say IGP de yakoso no hunu de ekoya NDC achitafo tata MPP for se o manager padie no IGP kan ho na de was wo chene na emra enya adwuma ene wo sase National Peace Council so mo mu nua ngu o maso de yakoso no obi ati be mo me condemn mo me kasentia the air chrono international communities no so ahodo ni nyina emra bonten no mo meka sentia de NDC achitafo e de MPP fo no mo sase se o manager pade pepe jachishi bi mu ekeka ho no na eleka emo man no enko de no woni wo so woni no de ma NDC fo no esan so obi a wonta su kokko e wonanum
kan man kan no mun e be ko nanim ye ra di pira dampare say the Ghana e wo tru so ye be to aba wo free political party twice when you share KaseƐ asunje baba abatu no baby o come na tell it na ho no be from say you should stand down na police for atro mo furo na can this konko a no meeting konko say the man ben the percentage ye MPP say basabasa ya ya to so na mom sa konya ya ye dia mo ma ye kan say so man ya sa de ya embo ye nyina MPP will not say that then say e ma ba ya koto ye wini and this phone pending say you omu tintim yensa ye fa sa akonya so ase peace councils say mo na asundwe e wo mo no me akoso nya mahu peace council for mon kasa debe na moka ye say Christian community Yes, some Muslim community leaders or more. No more costly. I am over. I am with them. International communities or more. No more costly. I am over. I am with them. Said more central for more. More kind of clear. No more costly. Are you happy about it? I am over. I am with them. Centrality no call who's a normal one cost of no year for so long. Sunday person a teacher man.
And they call them irate youths and they don't even want to mention.
Sana a teacher man. Now multi radio so at TV so. And this is where morning was so savvy. I'm not telling him about what be and I start to trust him. I'm not telling him about all the political parties. Send me FPP, a quarter about I need. Yeah, you lose no better to trust him. I had dear to my tear baby. Tesremo, a person now must say the apostle. Now, Biana Lutum said, South Conference 30 years my body. And this is for Emma Pine, no electoral commission for no, and yet the Sefata. We are said the Ghana and Edin Kunim. Mamma Yadi Basabasa Bebo memoir. Any patapani to trust a map, or Modima MP Petita phone, and so Munjai. And then the first time I didn't say lessons for Ghana, or MP lessons were. By the end of the day, no, a man no can't conversion. And they should remember that power is transferred. Say between me and Sabako.
Yeah, see, Ayora Justin could you from Paul JFK or your church for penny, Emma MPP, Amanyuku.
Yet one some so and Ghana Water Company Limited and so almost senior staff union, Penny Awadano, Ayora Emmanuel Okoti, Kudaya. Wa friend some chofo nhye mudi nsembia to just say baby a Ghana water for mo meter ne wo mo tanks ne pipes akese de da no ene nkrofo sia no mu sia dan wo so ama ne Ghana water for ho kire mo papa wo se Ghana fo ani abria densia na baby a ense so mu si dan nyina ne nkrofo wi ansase esi na ene wa friend some chofo nhye mu ne okumase ha ene ode ato dwa se ebedru baby no omo nya ekwan obefa so atwe nsu a ombe gya adwuma no de ato na baby a yen ayebekwa kope yensu no ne yakwa kope esi die benti ya wo baby wo ho a ye demarcate to ho a airport say wo ho ye chichire airport a eye kilometers bi frequency bi eni so bi akura si dan de ben ho enso yen Ghana ye kumase hwia obi hya na dwa ye dwa akura plane twam a wo hu na enam ne dan ne so saa nyame fa saa ma se boni si a ebedi ewu na Ghana waterfall nsase ankrofo akosisi adan bi na omo adwiragu no omo ehwe TV ni de omo hu na wo si edan no edisi pipe so na baby a twin so a enso na say galamse kura sefen esa na mo ya madwuma na ye den e de ama wo mo owura Emmanuel Okpoti Kudaya
emo nem no yan iso na ye hu adwuma ne ban ama ye properties a eboa yen maye di ye yedwuma ebi ni bungalows a ye staff ni ye managers no bi etimu anansan ye hu se nkrofo bi e de omo ani asiye so ye bungalows 5 omo pese omo je free ensem e de ye nia omo ankasa omo pe for their personal private benefit na say yeti ha Maame Nyarko obibi last week ye manager we tukwa o ti okoto ababa Obaya ya be bubu ni dan nyama nyina agwa abonten omo awia bi nkofo be wia bi krako na se wo yes a eye for your personal benefit nti ne ye kan ne say Madam Rose ne nkofo ni omo ye adwuma no omo mbeye ye walls no emai na adibia omo sese wa nyina no omo nsam fambre na ye ma omo 48 hours ultimatum asem we aye kan no so mo amba be ye nwadwuma in fact ye mfrɛ mo mba ha biom ye beye ni aya KaseƐ ye beye no eno ne se na kire se mo mpese ye beye adwuma no e wo asante wi na se mo mpenso wanu enti ye beye ne se ye be dundum ye fidie no na ye nso yakopo baabi ada
nundum no na mo nkope baabi na nipa nso ye de na we Ghana waterfall chese ya how pa oye how KaseƐ pa se omo adan baabi a omo ensuo efa na omo de twi bi eso manfo no omo san hwe ya Ashanti region ya de bedu baabi no yenye nsuo ene ya no
na wo mo so ne sister kwia wona na ma de bia pipes ni bia papa yo e wo mo so mo ko ai
enyunu gusa
ye free waterfall nsensem ni asaba abato ni mu nsam ni akire nsensem ne ho asomdwe na first vice president Emma Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council GPCC Reverend Dr. Gordon Kisei wabekasa eno obo National Election security task force for no aba so papa eso omadwuma ani no kurani yes ya de no kura ka asem na bi wo hokora de a chese oma ye adwuma o saba so be wo so obi a ebo won nsam ema won wo se abato ni mu nsam nyina chi kura no ewie ya no de maburu ni bi ahya ase ya wa akire no bambofo mo nte so o ma twiti ya gas o mo de pepper spray agu obi ani ana o ma ye bibi kura de atia obi se de o mo ti adaboko no obo ma ba so sronko kwan so kura wo so obi a ene je de bambofo aye ho na maburu no o mo ye sa ne mani nyina kura ejaye.
There are still pockets of agitation and forms of lawlessness and people taking the laws into their hands. We came this morning that before even meeting the press, we had an off-the-press meeting with the IGP. We were very impressed with the briefing they gave us. First, we want the whole nation to know that what is going on is by the police administration is an intentional decision not to use force. Not a single water cannon has been fired. Not a single baton has been used. Not a single pepper spray has been used. Not a single bullet has been used. So they have exercised their professionalism to a very high level. I think they need an applause. However, there is a law that every good work leads to more work. So because they have done this good work, we want to encourage them to do more, because sometimes the provocations can be very high and they are human. So we want to urge all our supporters, both the winning side and those who did not win, that it is important to put Ghana first. Because before the elections, we all pray that Ghana shall be first. And right now, Ghana has won. So we give thanks to God that Ghana has won. Now, going forward, we want the media to pick the positive information and share, because good news is real news. So we urge media houses to, you have hours of bringing the news. Don't just share this once. Share it over and over and over, so every Ghanaian will know that the police is still in charge. Administration is still in charge. Law and order is still working. Well, the last thing I want to say is to also remind all the leadership of the various political parties who signed the peace accord, that the accord was for before election, during election, and after election. So we want all these various leaders to call their party members to order.
Any ayati Dr. Gordon KaseÄ ya wono first vice president Emma Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council GPCC abasobo dia National Security Task Force for adwuma sona omayewa abatu yimu ne nachi nyina
yeto ansam ne so aye ko sikasem mu ani emu nkomo kakra Ghana oman ni sikasem eye economy no enyini Ohama bupen enso ne achirepom mienu 7.2% third quarter na chese enkosi September wie ye ewa fi 2024 yimu na October November December ide ne de enso ebeba achire wo de toto ho afra sa de ti ya na 2.2 nti enyi 5% wo de compare last year sabre ya de na ekoso a Ghana Statistical Service ena de ensimi ho amane ebaaye na omo de yesikasem ni gina yie ene niam a ekọ nanimu no eye ohama wupen enkro ne achirepọ ba 9.1% expansion akoso efiri 2019 eye fa atiti mu covid betisi mu ni mu nkomo nyina afi na nioma eyeye kakrakra ye kọ yenim ene oman no gross domestic product GDP eno edo ohama wupen oha ba ko ne achirepọ nson 1.7% ya third quarter 2024 no so na ewo echiri kra na 1.6 na obroni se indicators anaso se nioma hodo a edi adanse ma sa enyini ya abayi sikasemu yi sikasa mining ene quarrying abo aye paye afi information and ICT computer ne credit ya etutogu ye phone so yi enuaba crops ena construction ene manufacturing ene nioma hodo a ye ewo mining mu no ni nyina aka ho bi ena akofa saade ni nyina ede aba Professor Samuel Kwabena Enin ena de nsemi ento aso bae.
From an oil GDP perspective, with a value of 48.2 billion Ghana cedis for the third quarter of 2024 relative to 45.0 billion Ghana cedis Overall growth rate in GDP in the third quarter of 2024 stood at 7.2%. This indicates that between the third quarter of 2023 and the third quarter of 2024, Ghana's economy grew by 7.2%. In the case of 2023, that is comparing the third quarter of 2022 and the third quarter of 2023, the economy grew by 2.2%. So over these two time periods, that is between the third quarter of 2022 and the third quarter of 2023, which the economy grew by 2.2%, and the third quarter of 2023 and the third quarter of 2024, when the economy grew by 7.2%, we've seen a 5.0 percentage point difference between the year-on-year growth rate between 2022 and 2023 relative to 2023 and 2020. Industry sector is contributing at about a third, specifically 32.6%, and the agricultural sector contributing about a quarter, specifically 24.5%, indicating that GDP oil estimate in current terms for the third quarter of 2024 stood at 270 billion Ghana cedi.
Abusuafo we aban kuntabufo pani abenfu mu okunini Samuel Kobna enim ono ena edensemi atudwa.
Ya ba kumase asante mantam kropon emu na omanfo binom akasa ye special report emu omone oyokoba na nafkwe free ena edi nkomo senti ya MPP edi kugu na omonche mu ne
bo MPP fo no omote yenkoto yenyese la ye kura ye bia meto aba MPP fo na fa so ye fa ni se ko fa so obi aso nkoto obi atifie yenkoto yenyese na ye se hisemunti ana wo so omonto ana yeso ahisam ne de ye nya bi da ye koto ya to ya na ye nya ade ntia mamuti ye di ntwo ne say delegates na omo asante memu ase no ya edu wa na MPs ni ska bleble omo ebu 5,000 7,000 8,000 pam you to me jimi enu no I can we see meje 15,000 we 7,000 we 8,000 ma jiska na abu na ye no dia oman ye pena e be say e de ne ba no omo man fa ma ne o ma jiska ma na de o ma ba eni nyina ka ho ena ma enis for no MPP enis e awene no MPP for ye bofu that's almost say aba na amoaye amo kumase asante man ya amoaye etina bebre anto but me de me toye but still ye be saba
tima kan say omo niema na niema na kwam nti e de ne aba no omo nim so ombeluzu niema na na kwam say se utimi say niema bo kura ye dene wo ka omo nte ye nti ade so de bia na otwemienu na otwemiense bia eto ade mu nenum nensia bia eto ade mu ba waka bibia omo ni bibia ya afa ho eno an say MPP panyifo na omo antoto omo niema yi bebre kwa niema na omo anya ne de pi kwa tie no omo KaseÄ debite no omo KaseÄ free education no kwa na yepe ma bebre ebi ni se ye to ade mu ne o chane atum ade chini atum could you imagine say within almost I think 2 weeks na petrol ya tumu twice yeah beto about 2 weeks to election ya to petrol if that week na ya to abano ano ya to petrol mutini ya to mamu Ashanti regions school ni de omusa nkura ni ko mo boa ya but de na wasa mo ya me ani je no mo anye da bia amoni anwa da bia ya tum da bia ya tum so anya 10 cedi o 100 cedis ejadifo ma mo me ya breda bia ya esu sa adai chama utumi na nim kasanye o kasaba sabasa you free nya adwuma nye o mutimi na moto beta no wasa 10% on tax afri anya enti
ya se na wo mafia
ya so ne mahwiegu a
na wo hihye no mo keka no delegacy factor no ene nipa ya tete so mo di nkomo nyino mi ka bi so wo kwaje 17,000 18,000 edu election house de ono ko vote de onko to free omo so baje omo de
eno anu no obi anu chief asempa ko
sika na ma ya omo nto
enti eno no oni mahwiegu anu ahihye ne ye ene wo so abiem a no hu say de obeye no we oyekwo ba kwa free ena omanfo binom ye wo kumase ne di nkomo de omususu se enam so ma MPP edi ntwo
so da so MPP nsemu na mrahye bedwani ogire mo manfo e wonsan wo mado agiri ya ono kro ye san akobiem Frank Anodompre ono a ne majority chief whip e parliament ni nko na konwa no ni nkunim de na koye yibibi e wo ho bi kan say something which is the so wedding true so wedding kunim o yentimi nkenkan enti wonhunu ma ene wo de achopa e de atoma mpani akufo ado anim say transition no anka mampani dadajo ma ne mpanimfo ba ne nchen ono mo afi ase no onyai enkosisi ebehwe na problem abeto abato ne hunyina no yebetimi ebu ho akonta awie wo se constituencies akese bi owo poema ntemu ete sensa wo mado agiri suhum akwatia ene fante akwanofo no mika say electoral commission ntimi indeclare ni ye a ye nhunu ba bi ade ekoro na yetimi akoye transition enu ti Frank Anodompre esre se ono de onim se ni seat ni de obe retain esan sensa wo mfo do no wo mato abama no na emom akoye bibia wo sa se ye twi tuo bi na ye de asiwu so se wan san ya ye de bebo otirim eno na akofa ye ne de abanti mampani no ntwe transition ensensen na omonhwe parliament nkodwa ne ho asem nkenwe.
Comes to equity must come with clean hands. So the transition process should be halted. His Excellency Nana Akua Akufo-Addo should halt the transition process. And John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, must show same equity, must speak to his people, and we must ensure that all the other outstanding seats are declared duly by the EC before the transition process goes on. Because we are convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that the preoccupation, the negative mindset of the NDC is to be able to steal seats in addition to seats that they've won, so that eventually they can get the 2/3 and then Parliament becomes a rubber stamp and they will do whatever they want to do. I know my seat in Insahom region is a targeted seat for very obvious reasons. But residents of Insahom have spoken. Look, even if it is one vote, I will put them to it. At this point, let me thank our party rank and file who have stood toe to toe with us, especially on the way of the night of the compilation of the result. You stood by me. I cannot be more grateful. That says that you can protect yourself. It is called self-defense. We must all be in that procession to defend ourselves.
Yes. We Frank Anodompre, majority chief whipper in Samoma Dwejiri, on one Ejiremoma MPP, or incumbent. Na wako pri bie wo no ade na koye bibi wonran bi a yenhu se we win o se we lose o constituencies ahodo ni bi wo asem wo ho na ne de ne ka ho bi no no wosere mampani na ewie ye no e no ra Andrews bedi akon ya we German South MCE ono so kire se onyi ni ese mampani dada Mahama obetimi ede enioma bo abafom se de NDC fo no edi bo hyachi omo ayere mo a omo ye dede wo kromu no enkan ro kono na beba 1 cedi ana petrol no ebeba 10 cities ana cement no ebeba 20 Ghana ana ye nyina yete ha akukọ bisu anoma bisu osese ye hwe
yantua kasiaba no so mamo ene de mo kwa Asen South eye mensi no na abato mpesua no emu na eho no se de NDC achitafo bi buofuo no omabufuo ni nyina ase omude omuhu ne se aba na omokwato ye no enye Reverend John Intimfodwo ya wo jama MPP na di nkunim da bi wani nkunim ya NDC ni no Joseph Kofi Bedu na di nkunim no omude ne mu oyeram kakra mu ntie omu kire mu se MDC amanyoko ni mu mpanimfo bi ene MPP fo na abato komisa na no maye sina kachibi ana kanana ene o maye jehye na o mawiam e di ama MPP ni Reverend Intimfodwo enti o mabo mu dua ya akonfo ba pani a wonu okuro ni nana ya ena esu efele supanyini akututu nsabu makobodua SNPP fo na NDC fo na ahyehyɛ wɔn NDC mpanimfo ni mu bi ena ɔmo de mrahye bedwa akonya no ama Intimfodwo
masam ne sɛ aba no Kofi Bedu owini enti de onim Kofi Bedu aba no ho bibia no wɔkyenkyim ne nsa ena wasra ne krata no enti na mudu kane a media mehu o mehui mehu papa enti kene krata no ba bi kura ne krata na kodie ane de wɔnim ho abi a wɔkyenkyim Kofi Bedu nsa asesa krata de aka ne de homa mutumi kacha sɛ Intimfodwo na anwini no panimfo no be catch them pray wo bia benya sensaso me bodi ato so se Kofi Bedu na anwini enti wa wonni hu bibia no enya dia ho beto da enti mo numa mo fa etie kwatwe dia twere mo no kora kana mo ka no agi Kofi Bedu krata no mo ya kona Intimfodwo se dia benti me die me ya konfo me hu ni nyina me nyam se eno kora na me ka no anu tira ma bodua no ma ba asupanim wo bia wonim Kofi Bedu krata hu bibia no me bole ni fra me ha wo mo a wo joka wadi boni ya ko wura atikreta se mo wayam me bom dua me se me bom dua me supani se bontumi anya MPP and woman Democrat and NDC so my enemy bi no woman me ka no kura ni afa kofi be du gibra fa ma no ya fa ma no dia e supani no da wo no na yesa sabola ani toilet adiagu pick up ni dia beguru so
dia mo te den ka konfo ba no na ya na omo fere no e no wakogu nsa akobodua wa supanyinim e wo Asen South e mansi mu chiem se Reverend John Tim Fodjo onye onedi nkunim e ya NDC ni Joseph Kofi Bedu nedi nkunim na NDC fo na mpanimfo ene MPP fo ni abato komisa na ye sina kachi kanana e na omode ama Ntim Fodjo
na re me te pa government 30 years ni yenya ni senior we win MP was out to that 7 December 9 minute there me my dia na me kokwa ko for dia afiare kwache ya na ya susu ya kwache Ntim Fodjo win say win we there ya chance because easy ka say about to yenum like to krobia aso and say ya ka ba na we if you tell to modum like from ase the man be say ko kruwa no modum like ya chance dia easy for no omo nya aduma ni ye na say commission for no so na omo tama ya ka ba no omo so say omo go sika bia etina any form land no ye ni abere ya ba na obu hu no na tuta ni aba omo no o mechanic kwa ada so me ka ba kwa share atekuta no mawu Ntim Fodjo no body so mechanic kwa say aba no owi ama o le bo fu prepo da o wi asimu da
eda no so wan fan to a frito because we MP wa ha say Ntim Fodjo wa betena so tete say 8 years or 16 years ni untimi me ye hye bi papa bia enye de emfa mai then say election time was so na say to aba now dey en kwase asem okeka kra che say an na mutuma mi o man to ama mi o me wini na te so no onim kwan ya wa dey obefa so obe dey obewi aye
enti we so ya chitafo ni bi ya o mo so o ma ba o mo to ye nya no na ye kenkan ye no emu nsem no
ye to aso da so gina mu MPP semu na ye be se free Asen Central Asen South akodoma Central MPP mrahye bedwani o wa fidi okọ ye wenhu so doma nkonwa miensa ni nyina na nka ye MPP nkonwa doma Central doma East doma West ene ni nyina hwere MPP for akodi NDC nsem free January 2009 ena ye rei edi MPA edi besine na we de wo se nkugo die ne de aye ne se eyi no na o se afi aba ne to ne hawo kese no agina yanto na MPP fo ankoto aba na NDC fo de 6.3 no mu nyina akoto sa pepepe no mu nya 2020 election no ni pakro na to ye na MPP die no na suti boom eburu be 2.5 million ya Ashanti region yankra na ebe 1.6 million ankoto Ashanti region the whole Ghana na voter turnout to from 35%. Ashanti region had yankoto kra na no na honorable Kwaku Agyeman echemu oni nsem twofo di nkomo na ochemu se we lose doma Central konwa no ama akodi John Kwame Edu Jack ensem na so ka che na chitafo nyina se obi antwa na koma nto ne yam ya won kwa adepa ebeba daache
we decide a prerogative of the party phobia ewokrum say ba se beka se men kobiema I have the strength me o ma ho dina media ba se dey be Kwaku o man kobiema I will accept that verdict as well inti ni phobia ni party phobia na me de be madwuma ba mon ka say eco primaries what I say inti I weigh my fortunes or primaries so edu ho na me hwe na primaries metumi nya I can decide that way inti I make say nyame na me decide the party body executive top body na ye candidates mabeko they will decide on behalf of everybody. But the hope is that Memresa, no matter still, no matter what age, I can still fight the battle. Every crime in Yanama agreed me who knows? I'm very better. Into the Yamutre.
Any amoti ye mum a kennel, Kajodamwa, ya or no ejina muma MPP, German South constituency emu. Na sema ode to eyabono region emu na ochemu kire se ne ya papa se MPP atitafo no dodo no ankwankoto aba no ono de emse ni tia ye ma waye member of parliament elect na parliament awoko no afi no wowura mu na nua no bebre enso eba fie no akoya hometesem e de ama no Canada mo ase MPP fo abon homode papa empunti omo de abaga na enya asem ketwa na enso obi nim de esi ye abufu kakra ba ku mienu bi ya party mpanimfo ntimi anhwanka ena akofa nkugodie nyina ede aba no besere wo mo se voter apathy a eye yaudi a enipa gina so o mankoto aba no maye mane mabiem yekoye ni mu no
party ni na yakọ opposition one wo he one wo kusu akoka wasem mansi du ba ko no aka no bia no ye ne MP ye nya MC ye nya DC nti party na seba ye mobo ewo ho nti wo ya wadwen se wo MP wo parliamentary candidate wo ye na bura kan wo se wa ye wo aso ho aburo no bi niema ketekete bi nti benja manaka wo ye pacho ben ba prim ba koma say membe de ma nya ne say ya ene say nti saa ne ma no nyina de hawabre msusu se senkanya saa de ka ye jai ema ye de dosonko adwumadente eta ye parliamentary candidates na chia ka be nya nkondwa no dodo asene de ye ba enya agu na emeka sa achia nso emuye se be ye biara ye be fa adesua sonko afri de asim na amaya hyehyɛ nneɛma yie amaya party no ansana mfie na beduru yakosa
wei owura Andrews Bediako German South MCE bono mantam emu asem na yekan na wɔkyerɛ me sɛ ɔno de wo ne sɛ ensɛm ni nyinaa no mampani dada adwo mama ne NDC for dada Ghana for na Ghana for ɛwɔ hayen ya yebehu sɛ nsɛm na ɔkeka no betimi aya ɔbɛba bɛpɛ bibi de ahyehyɛ dum ne adan me ba ye we nko yie na we ayɛ sei na we ayɛ sentimentumi anye ye nyina tete asa osi January university first year for kwa obetu school fees e de ama wo mo January free sabre kon so de enche ye nyina yebehu bi sɛ bɛba o sɛ ma o yenya ye jejereje abusuafo nkomo no sei na etie na kenel damo ade no ne ye call Doma Central ne ye ka ho asɛm no ochemu sɛ supporters kenel damo ade na chi no ye rakwaku agimai menu e de adanse sɛ MPP supporters ni ntwa makoma emfanto mo yempa na defeat de ya obi ene obeka kiro sɛ ukokon na obi di edi wo so ana otwifa wo so a enye ya nanso omo makoma nto omo yem omo fa makoma nto nsuo na omo nyire omo ho enye dwumade ne ma anko yie nyina omo behwe asese sɛ de be ya dankwa ma mfie na yedi enimo no nkunimde beba
abusafo nnuanu do mafo ina edikane amamwachi na mada ubiara asi wa batu ya yetu ye na mo ya we say this is the first time Matist defeat painful anyway but elections you can go up you can come down here surprise kakra we have lost the election na ni amesra and say nnuanu na be support me no ajiwa ma no misremu ubiara nchira ubiara nchamfie nyebom ababom your ups and downs and if this is our down ya we not for several years into Fanasa say Nessi, Obia and Pino Bibre. In Jamaica, I just want you people are more Masem, I'm Mami, I'm Timachia, Betonet, who say I'm still as strong. You are more to say than I'm behind me. Election day, name observe elections. I should be a meaning city to lose elections, and that's not the end of your life. The woman say you may go back in a party from California. What actually happened in India, Afibia Yetino, you may him, now you have 2 years for Edia, whenever first I ever build him as a baba. And you see, any very, very strong senka between BC, but me a believe pass a transit be a longa, Emano, Ebasa. Inti Mobia Bomu, Mobia Tintra, we have 4 years ahead of us. Monshe Musapumitre, the Intuija, and fighting the next battle.
We a year kwaku agimai menu na owie no na wɔkyerɛ sɛ adwene a 2028 ɛwɔ sɛ MPP fa ɛne so wɔyere wɔn ho na party executives no wɔyɛ nhyehyɛyɛ sonko koraa ɛde ma wɔn mo na animu yi a wɔn yere wɔn kɔyɛ campaign to aba eyi executive a wɔbɛtumi abɛsɔ party nim na wɔasiesie nneɛma ɛde ama Nyame yadoma 2028 elections.
We decide a prerogative of the party named Pennyphobia Ewokrum. Say Base Beka Semen Kobiema. I have the strength. Me Oma Modinamit Media. Beba said they be Koku Oeman Kobiema. I will accept that verdict as well. Intiniam Pennyphobeka, near party Phobeka, Namini Behe Majuma. Amonka say Eco primaries. What I say. Into I weigh my fortunes or primaries. Into ho Nameshena primaries meet me. I can decide that way. Into America say Nami decide. The party body. I the executive top body na ye candidate. They will decide on behalf of everybody. But the hope is that no matter still, no matter what age, I can still fight the battle. Every crime in they are my greedy me who knows?
Abusuafo wei yira kwaku agimai menu a oye doma mrahye a oye Minister of Health mfie bebre enso afide na konwa no ahwere no ukofie ono na ni ekitafo ekasa ase
ya demo kwa asante mampon asante bekwae kuro ya ye friend Joamin ye wa asante bekwae omosi ni fahene foforo kra wo ho ya woni doctor na nantwubo asiakon amoa na ebra osaf na musai wiye no na wode nsamutudwa na wochemu se wotu omamu na se wuni mmara so a na chese wanga sa wo mpe oman ne nkankro ani ni mpum 20 obesere ese obi ani mmara so na mo ama wo man ani kuro entumpon na ne nsam na nso ho no ma wo sade atudwa chemu se obeboa no aye na famu de bia ta eye nana kwadwo afawu aya otoso miensa oye dwame henachi no maboa makuro no empumtuo ho nsama tumi atumpon na ani etranton ewo mpatam ho nyina no omatimi abrena se opani wono ana no oye director ya wo climate vulnerability and adaptation ewo EPA aseye
Nefa ofidie so ada dwame hene ase ene dwame mpanifo nyina ase me da dwame nyina ase yabo me dwame nifa hene na eya osum na yede ahyemensa enimi yese nyame enema ahoden eno nti osum dwuma yede ahyemensa no so no nyame amama ahoden a mentimi nti de di kan no mesro nyankopon se mama ahoden sonko afema minimdie nyansa ode ma Solomon na odibu ne man nso ọma me sa akwanya no bi ọman a emranim no enye ọman sanse ọman a emranim no sakasaka ana basabasaye na ededi se emrani baabi a pacho ugina metimi abowaso eko free obi antimi nkan hwenkyerem wade da ofia metimi abefa akọ obi antimi nyamehwe at se emra ya adwuma emfa wento ha fa wesi ha se wanya ne sa asotwe ne sen akwankyerɛ ne sɛ media mani so ade hu paa ne sɛ bɛboa dwame hene ne nimpanifo na yɛtime de mmara yɛde kyekyere ɔman aboa ma dwame nso akɔne ɛsiane sɛ dwame yɛ kuro kɛseɛ paa titirifo paa wɔ kuro yi mu sɛne ɛdin aduru akyiri na ɛkɔba sɛ ɛdin bɛbɛ news mu na ɛbasabasa na ɛmfata ɛnsii saa deɛ nanso
ni fahine fofo mo si no wadwa me ya eno wa sante bekwae Dr. Nana Entwibu Asiako Amoa ene ne yete ye no na Nana kwadwa afawa afawu aya otoso mienu ya oye dwa me ehene enso so echese mabulu no enyi eye otimi wakame ne niam ensem fata bia mfiri ho na amambre ne amane ye dia na yemfa na mo ne dia ne ahoho dia no emo aye nkankuro bia
sida kese na sankoma Olepa TV ise enmonyam kese amenya ne ne a be mo ofia kwesi okoje asuo kukufuma hene apagya me brempon sedo ame hene no Olepa da bia meka se moka ho mfie mi ensa pepepe ni ambedi akonya sedo ame dikulo no waka me ho akonya asanyina me de bia medi bia moboa na mane koso nti dedi kan me damase amamra ne amane ene sen ya beto ye nananom no na obuo ni anidie e wo ho pa se bia oja na bia asokora wo yakora na akoto panyi ho a se wugina mo sole ansa na akora betumi kura ka to se sole na wi na waba amamra ne amane ene sen akora nka ne titimle mo no edura na adwo no ma bonten a obia betuma atia no kofie ne kosua de enne ukoka sa asem eti no obi ba na ma me eno beko na ma me be ne amfra akyerew eno so na ma ye nkora na sei if say sabi ya se unu afi ukrom hina ban a oyila bedwom enti sa amamra ne amane ya nananom ye ne suro ewan kura mu suro wo kroma mu titimla na atwa mu no sabi na sabi no na ya da abosom enti obi ya de akora wo suro
Nana kwadwo afa wu aya otoso miensa dwa me ehene ene ne yete ya nana kuroma no ezo kire omani so pa ese doctor Nana Entwibu Asiako Amoa wodi se fata se yesi ni nifa hene
Nana Entwibu Asiako Nana ye Nana bia dwa me man ye nyaade si enya na so miensa wo kuro mu a ka kuro nki ye kwaya nim sabu obu ha wonya sika ni sika no wonyi mpie na nanim se we ye bubusuani we nya mi busuani na natu no ho ache ama nkofo ma na na hwe wo mu school e wo kuro dua mu no enye ni paketwa enti na na de dua me man ye nyaade ade a ye pe ani enya ana de owodini ani ye bo na na ye ba mamua akuro edani tiri su
wo fa hye no ne timane na doyenti ana no ofani mpon uti tachiman aba ba tachi amedi na shi akonwa so ene bie de mesre ne se yankopoma na hoden no ma ne yokodro honhom se ne ebe a obetumi di aboa dwame man ani obi kura won fi dwame hakura no wodi na sem bi ba wo moa no because di bra wanya no ana yankopon mo de ahye ne mo no wodi bebu nipa bia de abusia ne nyina no yeta na chi
Dwa me fobi ena omani yense ntwe na ya pepre di nkomo efe omani so efe ni fahena omasi no eho
Abusuafo ye bekwa homa so ne yakodi nkomo na ye bisaka kuma bise bronya si kane no bronya ye si broni na enya nenso bibifo nso yenso yenya bi esanse Kristo no a ye gidie che ye se ye wo ne bronya a enso nya sa na twerɛsɛm ne ka na emom yɛde ahyɛ hɔ a ɛboa yɛ nyamesom esan so bɛfa nipa tibia to ne ho so ntia yɛ den a yɛwo no na ba oba wiase ɛne ne na ɛho afahya ya na yɛhyɛ no nipa pim bebre wo wiase nyinaa ɛna Yesu awe yenya ɛso emfaso o Kristo ni ahoboa bɛn ɛna afe no eduru sei na Yesu awo no ɛbobɔ ba wo yɛ edi kohyia no emu aduane die emu nam wie chips wie enigye ewo mu ne nko ana yɛhwɛ ana ɛwɔ siesie yɛ nipadua ne yɛkra nso ɛde ma agyenkwa bi a ɔba yɛn ɛwɔ Orthodox mu te sɛ Roman Catholic, Methodist, Presbyterian ɛne Anglican ne deɛ keka ka ho deɛ saa brɛ yɛfrɛ no Yesu kwanhwɛ a yɛfrɛ no sɛ Advent ebrɛ na Advent duru a ahosiesie no yɛ na ɛyɛ kwan sonko koraa yɛkwa homa so ne Reverend Father Michael Kwakubuahe yɛ parish priest St. Teresa's Catholic Church wasawase ɛdi nkɔmɔ bisa ne sɛ Advent brɛ yi Yesu kwanhwɛ ahoboa bɛn na ɛsɛ sɛ nipa nyina titiri o Kristo ni yɛ ɔsɔfo Christ asomdwe nka wo
Minia enka sunsumo
Christ
asomdwe promise ahwɛfo nyinaa nso
ɛdase amen enka wo sunsum na yebisa sɛ Yesu awoi sɛ de medi nkan aka no yɛn ɛwɔ Orthodox mu te sɛ Methodist ne Roman ne Presbyterian ne Anglican ne de yɛnim Advent aka sɛ yɛwura mu a yɛhwɛ Yesu kwan no sɛ ɔbɛba no ɛde ahoboa no Kristo ni ɛne nipa nyinaa sɛ yɛyɛ ɛde twɛn Onyankopɔn ɛba no awo
yo meda seminua mede nkyia sonko ɛma promise ahwɛfoɔ ɛne yɛtiefoɔ nyinaa sɛ de ɔkan no Father Michael asonase nie meda se Yohanes subɔni yɛkenka Luke nsɛmpa no tire miɛnsa baako kɔpem nsia na wɔkasa ani bi tie mu ɛsrɛ so monsiesie Awurade tempɔn moma na tempɔn ɛntene moma mɔntimɔnka ɛmfiri ɛmepɔ ɛmmra fam na monhyɛ nkoko anaasɛ valley ɛma ɛkyerɛ sɛ John a wɔyɛ ɛne a ɛtia mu siesie Awurade akwa wɔ srɛ so no ɛnim sɛ deɛ wɔba a ɛyɛ wiase agye nkwa Yesu Kristo a ɛkae na woda bronya brɛ no ɔhwɛ nneɔma a yɛyɛ a ɛbɛma yɛabɛn Nyankopɔn yie ade nti na Christ a woda ɛbɛ wiase wɔma afɔ nwatire miɛnsa yimadonu miɛnsa no sɛ we nyinaa yɛ bɔne Nyankopɔn ni munyam ayɛ dɛn abɔ yɛn tena wɔ sɛ wiase agye nkwa no bɛfa nipa tebea akyerɛ sɛ esi tena yɛtumi asɔ Nyame ani nti minim sɛ bronya deɛ ahosiesie brɛ Advent yi mu nipa esiesie wɔn ɛna ɛyɛ anigye da nti no adɔfoɔ hyia awofoɔ ne wɔn mma ahyia ebitu kwan kɔ nkuro ketewa mu ekusia nyinaa ɛɛfɛ we nyinaa na sɛ huhu mu nsiesie bɔne a ɛma Nyankopɔn soma ne dɔba Yesu Kristo baa wiase no yɛntoa na mo a na ayɛ sɛ sɛbi ɛsɔn wasa aka koma na wanya mu no nti ahosiesie yɛtɔ nneɛma ntadeɛ fɛfɛɛfɛ no nyinaa ɛyɛ nanso hemfa na Nyankopɔn ɔteɛ Nyankopɔn yɛ honhom ɔte nipa akoma mu efie no Nyankopɔn asɔre da nipadua no nti sɛ yɛnsiesie yɛkra ne honhom mu yie ɛbrɛ yi mu mpo ɛne wɔsi esua sɛ yɛyi abufuo bi a obi yɛ bɔne afia hyɛseɛ ne yɛda so kura mu ekunu ne ɛyere ntam yɛsiesie ɛma ne awofoɔ ntam yɛsiesie because John subɔne dwumadi a obɛdi yɛ no ɔno na ɔbɛtwe agya no mu abɛn wɔn mma na ɔtwe mma nso abɛn wɔn ɔno na ɔbɛsiesie Yesu kwan mu ɛma agyenkwa no ban nti wobusa a mede mehunu no sɛ ɛyɛ anigye da nanso yɛnsiesie ho yie adɔyɛ nnwuma a ɛbɛtumi ayɛ ama nyanka ɛne wɔn a wɔnni bie ka ama aprɛkɔ afihyia yɛyɛ no bronya mu a ɛso Nyame ani ɛne yɛn nso yɛsunsum dwumadi afe no ɛkɔ na awieyɛ a sɛ na mabu nkonta wɔ mabrabɔ mu akɔ akɔsie ɛfiri sɛ bɔne timi ne Nyame dɔ ntam deɛ ɛne na wɔ sɛ mesiesie me ho na metumi bɛn Nyankopɔn yie waa wo wiase agyenkwa na ama yɛ ɛto ho dwom no ɔwo ma wo sɛ Mary awo agyenkwa na ma yɛ ɔno na Hosanna yɛbɛto bronya ne munyam ka Nyankopɔn sorosoro no ɛhyira nka nipa ɔpepa no ne nyinaa ne sɛ Yesu benya da brɛ ɔmakoma mu na matumi abɔ bra ɛtene kakra mɛka no
sesɔfo na ansa na yɛbɛgya amo akɔ no wo sɛ yɛ na nigye ne mmorosoɔ ne timi boroso na afei ɛtumi kɔkɔfɛ pra ne wuo de ba yɛnuanom a ɔmo wɔ nkuro nketewa mu ne kora deɛ yɛn bronya no efiri bɛ 24 ta adwuma bebreki a Obia betu kwan bronya de nipa tu kwan pa ye de ye be kɔ yadɔfo nkyɛn na ye ne omukodi bronya no ebi wɔ hɔ a ye se 26 ni edidie 25 ne de ye su frɛ nsamanfo awu ofie hɔ enyina saa afe no na afi to megye de sɛ wate bi ho asɛmpɛn na 26 no na ɛboro no ne anigye no ɛwɔ Yesu awo no ɛyɛ honam mu anigye ɛyɛ boro ne adidie nko a ana ɛyɛ obroni sɛ ɛyɛ period of reflection. I was here tonight saying that you boom composure ye bram na afimu no bibi a touch no ye timi siesie ansa na ye si afefofra e benum.
It has been mean two aduane DNA and the ntum preko pe. If you say aduane kra kanipa bom we say last supper Yesu tena de die kire ne do. Na say the kind bibia moroso no bro nya no aboro sram o twakwa mu kura wo hunu ba bia onam na ka abo ne se pew na akoye oyenne e de ama abusua eti e dwire Yesu awoda ne ye ne agye e hye Nyankopon animonyam no na ye ya ahwe yie efise e no kure obi kokro kitro mako se abusua ye se twedi amponyame ba se yaro nyame se ne bambo be ye kese e wo ya kwan so eti e tu ye ne aye agye ani fo no ye tu adrabafo nso fo ne pentema kwa ba bo se ono do aba ni bronya ni je wa rensa what is see anim shi bro me se bronya de nipa wu enye nipa no na ewu ye na ya anya hye yie ye ono ne ye ka Yesu awoda ani je mo so de akoye ensanom ne brabone emfata no na ni na ho na do aba ni so office bronya ba no so onya sika eti ori nipa na ekọ shi ekwa ya enye nyina eti speed basa ni nyina so e de modja kaguo ba eti ye wo ka no ewom e wo se agene ye ni Kristo ayonkofa ye ya ahwe yie na bronya ho mfaso ne se ye wo sumu na wiase agenkwa no wawo na maya na me afiri suma ba Nyankopɔn han wanwa so mu no ehye ye din animonyam nanka ye de wura afoforo mu anigye ne ahoɔden mu eti me sɛbi nua ma drabafo ani wona tutu kwai kɔmia mia nyina bronya ba ejadie kɔso ka adwuma kɔso nipa etu kwai ye ni na hɔ efise nipa nkwa ɛhyɛ wo driver ni ne nsa ɛna ye nso a de nam krodua ne mtima mfo ye kɔba nyina no ye ni na hɔ sɛ de bɛyɛ a ɔbɔnefoɔ no mfa ensanom wiaye na ya brabo ensan ko egu se bonya china nipa didem bonya china nipa pra bonya china how bi aba enserade se ka fi bonya de obeye moa ni beba ye ho so na ya anko sati biam ti de o kan me no ya adwene ye bra ye hwede chedi amponyame ayama adasa se brebi no o ma wiase ade kwa Jesus Christ yewura ba wiase be ye nipa ne etena se be so Nyankopɔn ani kakra mbeka e de chia chia
asa na wo be konka me mo akɔba asamba kwa besi mitima me pese wo clear ho ma wo se a Christopher ye mu bebre esoma hodo ni bi ginchinwa se Yesu kra ya anwo ni bronya da enti omo de bronya no omo ni bi nanso ye den obeda na nipa ne de ye wo no e wo ne so kakra wo be ka de afa ho e de akyere ne sen ye di bronya ne kwa ye gidi se Yesu ni ya anwo ni bronya nanso so e wo se peda bi a ye de be kai na wo na tumi a hye gidi de
Masebiano, so Luke chapter 2, verse 1 to 10. Or say Emperor Quirino Abreso, Caesar Augustus, Emraso Bianco Lucrum Cochro D. Caesar Augustus, so Vicras when you children need any years or the uncle share internet Google. Augustus time, no in a juma. At a time, and Quirinus, your governor, it was Syria. Any Palestine temuno any emra treni di trene buy and I ma Joseph didn't require and it they looked after 80 can said the sumu wo yi ana Johano ya wo bre time then I wo bre ba ya sitnemu Europe and Africa and winter time winter is November and December temu it's I wo bre na no wo yi the sumu nyanhwefo no and obofo say ni je nsem bi aba wa wo aje korama wo tlehema o dam wadi didaka muti se kan kire no na ya ntuyebu an share the culture of the Bible kire no because o state Luke chapter 2 1 to 10 no o kire emperor no ho Quirinus di Amrado Caesar Augustus emra so bianko ni krom kotru ni di na Joseph and Mary na siwa e de ka ne ho call Judea kromu wonya dabre ewo Bethlehem krokito wo Judea no na amwadi de ka wo agenkwa no na the suma nyanhwefo no ɛda awɔ kɔ mu mu da ɛsrɛ so dwa ɛwɔ nyan no ɛna ɔbɔfoɔ no bɛma ɔmo ho ahyerɛ sɛ awɔ anyenkwada ma mu. Look at the setting no winter time. At the time when the shepherd were watching their flock by night, it was cold winter night. And that bas I didn't say because scripture make the season or what in Kwano. The season of both for them gave bread and never born Mary out to me say now Bush and Elizabeth and ye said Busumi Siano. Say a Jenkwane Beth and John the Baptist Beth, you know, would take care of the be a seer. 25th will be himself a time under the Roman Empire and they honor the sun god. One yet in the area and it's be a Srayan so Isaiah chapter 9 or my not testing can be seen no shall a hand be a pea be himself dear son Ajua the Bema a higher pea area and was running. Why not in the area near Jesus Christ or no kind of John chapter 8 verse 12 warriors mini we are Sikania area and yet Kani and the Boba Bobo as the Kakama Kani and say the Ajenkwana year we are brought and what's near the Nibro and Emphaso. I think say Nimdien de Bre and Nimu am a young the years Christo. I am Adasa and Kaya Hayaho and nearly say 24th and now 23rd and now March and now April. Kebesin and Munyam a Brebia at the Eswade kind of order. Amen.
Amen. Papa so for yebeda wasepa de wasi ayeda semre ebusuafo
bibia afisiapa
afi pankomatu ye nyina afise ne yehia na bibia ekoso yeda ase Reverend Father Michael Kwakubu ahe Father Michael owo St. Teresa's asori mu ewo asawase ye wokumase ono na ye ne edi Yesu awo eni bronya die eho enkomo yi
wama Christmas feel no ai aba fever na band we ya sha say ye di bronya na no ya to aba na wie de esi awie abusuafo ye de amano ne nsam ewie ye kɔ Kenya wa hinkro Nairobi emu sɛde ɔmanfo bi ayɛ ye kyere ya ye kyere no mu guso ampo ɛne sɛ ɔmo se awurukade ɛne ayakayakade awudi ayedi emma bi no wɔ wafiefie mu no sɛde ɔmampani President William Ruto shebo ɛsɛ ɔbɛba abɛko atia no ɔyɛ ho bibi dia so kwa na ɛkɔsoro enti ɔmanfo n'ani abre ya ɔmo yɛ ho yɛ kyere paa ɛne sɛ yɛsɛ apolitifo akɔtoto ɛyɛ fiamaja tear gas ibi ɛde atete wɔn mu.
So Israel ne Gaza for entokwa ekamia yesentokwa na no mra seda eni nipa ba aduonu nkono 29 ena asan wuwo ewo Israel man no atifi FM ewo Gaza empapreso honom Israel asrafo akeka won ho ene wuku ahamachi womo ede topa ye bomb akoto bia bi brono ba ko a edi Beit Lahia eso ebe Kamal Adwan Hospital ya eye Northern Gaza ama ekum nipa sese edi bebre ensemone na attack na saa de omkoto hye won so nipa be duo no a emma ne won ma enkwada ene dɔɔso ena ewuwo ewom ne ensamtwafo kan nkyere se nipa be duasa ena omo nso adan abubuo nti omo atuo ede ekɔ Abu Tarabish brono baako eso na footage anaso se mfoni a Al Jazeera kasamfoni television ede ba idi adanse se nipa ne bi de wonsa ena eyiyi concrete ya ebuegu onuanom eso na onipa dan ebuegu ne so a wodo wonsa na emini abo no wobede no wetimi emini ni nyina eyiyi nipa no obi hyase ekura wanhwe yi a ubo de wo ya ne kura beku no ebe ka ne mmia ho ama na wu ama omanfo ne bebre na nso kyerɛ sɛ de asie de nyame anim no kure ni akoye asefem sem de ama wo mo a woni e wo akyire nso ehwe no hu hwe no ani nwusie ani mfuturo kumu ena ehim faso saa efranam so ede ekɔ esoro abusuafo ye begina rehu semi so na ye de KaseƐ no esi ene wuku anwumre yi ewo Promise 102.7 FM ena Promise Television eso na ye de aseda e ma yabo afo a
Emmanuel Oduro te the time no Korea ena Jimmy Cliff eya ne bo afo sonko ye ne Veronica ena afi oba paprisi ena eba be somo several room for ye damase achi ewo ho ena edusi pokuya enso bi Jimmy Cliff na enso esan ewo ho nom Korea enso ewo ho midi ede Maame Efia Nyarko papa bi ena afi efia kodia
esidua nyame yadomo a echina eyeda foforo de mu nyina ase adepa nche